Boko Haram kill people, the IPOB kill people, the bandits, so-called bandits, also kill people. So, as far as we are concerned, they are all terrorist organizations.
Point of correction, General. General Gusau, I think we're no longer living in 1940s where there was no access to internet. In 2025, everybody has access to internet and has access to vital and the authentic information. You can just use your phone, like Google or ask Google. That is if you don't have a good background knowledge of what you are saying. General, let's be honest to ourselves. If we say that the IPOB, IPOB is a terrorist group, two things are involved. Either we don't have a background knowledge of what we are saying, or we are intentionally being hypocritical in some topics. If we don't have a good knowledge of what we are saying, two things are involved. Either we are expected to go and get the knowledge, or we are expected not to say it at all. On the other hand, if we have a good knowledge of what we are saying and we claim that we are not being hypocritical in some topics, calling IPOB, the Independent People of Biafra, a terrorist group, it's just like calling the entire Arawa community a terrorist group simply because there are some groups that are constituting nuisance. It's just like calling the entire Yoruba community a terrorist group simply because there are few groups in them that are constituting nuisance. It's just like calling the entire Fulani community a terrorist group simply because we have Fulani herdsmen that are constituting nuisance. But then if we are deliberately being hypocritical in some topics, it's still perfectly fine. Last, everybody is going to die no matter who you are. Nevertheless, if the government or any other board in this country term them as terrorist group, in Kwara State, the federal government or the state government is making a peace deal with bandits, a peace deal with herdsmen. The herdsmen telling the state government what they want and the state government bringing their own what they want, they make a peace deal. So if the state government or the government is making a peace deal with bandits, then if the IPOB is still a terrorist group, maybe the government can still make a peace deal with them and ask them what they want and maybe give them what they want. Let's not be acting like all of us are small bikini, all of us are small children. We are not small children. Nnamdi Kanu has been in detention for over 4 years now without committing any crime. But the government is making a peace deal with bandits that have unalived thousands of Nigerians. They are not even hiding their face. You guys are giving us more evidence to just believe that this country has broken beyond repair. See what you are saying? Man, no go talk now. Go can't talk too much. I bet.
When we have a state such as the one that we have evolved, where bandits, terrorists will sit in meetings with elected officials of state, traditional rulers, and bandits, armed bandits, will dictate peace terms to the state, and the same state would have the room to harass citizens who are asking for better government, confine citizens who have dared to demand that they be set free from the evil empire that we have managed to evolve. Make it make sense that there are persons such as Nnamdi Kanu, for instance, in prison not by due process of law, because when trial has been extended beyond how many years, and then it doesn't, even the optic looks stupid. You're meeting bandits, armed ones, unrepentant. You're begging for peace. They are dictating terms. But the person who you say has called for armed insurrection against whose people you've deployed fighter jets, these fighter jets do not know their ways around the Kankara forest or Sambisa, but they can walk. It does not make sense. So when we begin to demand that these questions be asked of the state, these are not questions that are being asked as a partisan. These are questions being asked. You can't even claim to be a patriot because there is no country commanding your patriotism. It is sick in the extreme to continue to believe that you can counter this system by engagement with it as though it were a system amenable to change. I am of the opinion that all of us must come to the knowledge of the fact that we are not dealing with partisan politics. We are dealing with issue of citizenship. This must move beyond the argument of I'm obedient, I am partified, I'm APC. It doesn't matter. I don't care about your labels. What I care about is the substance of the issue. And the substance of the issue for me is that regardless of what you are, how you identify yourself, we are not citizens.
Kanu has been there for so long. He's been to several courts on several occasions. They can't even agree on what to do. And between me and you, Dr. Abbott, you're a lawyer. Justice delayed is justice denied. This man has been taken to various courts. They don't even know which charges to give him anymore. This man was abducted out of this country. The manner of abduction was in itself illegal. It's a shame. It's a shame that this country will be involved in a thing like that. But they did it. Okay, now you took that gentleman to court, and he's been there for years. If you want to take him through justice, dispense justice with him, and then that's it. If you're going to jail him, jail him. If you're not going to jail him, let him go. What's the point of just keeping somebody there? And all of us Nigerians should be ashamed that we are being linked to this. In the turn, it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame that this is what we turn this country to be. A Nigerian, a citizen, and you treat him like this in his own country. It's a shame. All progressive Nigerians should stand up and say this should stop. This shenanigans should stop. How long should we continue with this? If this man has committed an offense, sentence him. That's it. But if he hasn't, let him go. What is happening is wrong. It's wrong. To any right-thinking person, it is wrong. And Afenifere will continue to fight for whoever in such a position. That is what we are known for. We'll fight against any injustice from wherever it is coming from. We'll fight against it. And Nnamdi Kanu is just there. We've been doing this. We've been doing this for years. We know it. It's our template. I don't want to start repeating over and over what we do. A fellow of mine, one of my friends came on the television and talked about Shugaba to you. I was personally involved. I was the special advisor to Lagos State Governor then when this matter happened. And I was the person going around all over putting things together for Shugaba before it was finally released. He was not a member of our party. No. But look, we won't let this happen. And exactly what is happening now. We stood up for Dele. We stood up for him.
The government does not want to eradicate this insecurity, terrorism, and banditry in Nigeria, because it is the government that is charged with the responsibility for providing security, social welfare, and other good things for the city. That's why the government is there. The people are paying taxes, the people are doing their own part, but the government is not doing its part because of the interest of the few elites who are controlling things in government. How could you tell me that somebody in Imo State, Gentle Diahu, we have the kind of sophisticated armament, equipment for fighting? How could somebody like that have special rifles, automatic rifles, Setima, to terrorize people? It is somebody that is sponsoring them. They have good vans, have vehicles, have everything. They hide in the bush. How do they feed? How do they get logistics? How do they get those sophisticated, materials? Where do they get it from? It is somebody in a very high position that is giving them those tools. You go to Katsina State, the one they want to give peace deal. He has all manners of guns, rifles, cartridges. You see everything on his chest. He's wearing them boldly. And they will come somewhere, they terrorize Katsina State, and it's a violence. And nobody is asking who is sponsoring these people. You look at the Boko Haram in the north. They've been terrorizing all parts of the north for many years. Government has been spending billions of naira trying to fight Boko Haram in the same country where we have the military, you have the army, the air force, the navy, the civil defense, the police, the DSS. They are all there, yet these people are terrorizing all nooks and crannies of Nigeria. And people are still feeling that some people do not know what is going on. If government really wants to deal with these bandits, it could be eradicated within one day. Abacha said it. See, any insurgency that lasts more than 24 hours, that a government official hand is in it. And that is the basic truth. When Abacha was in power, there was no terrorism. There was no banditry. There was no kidnapping. There was no these things you are seeing in Nigeria. They were not in existence. Because Abacha meant what he was doing. But people saw him as an autocrat. They saw him as a dictator. But during his time, he was doing the right thing. There were no killings in the north. There was no killing in the middle belt, southwest, southeast. There was none. But he was still seen as a dictator. But now we have civilian democracy. It's when the bad things are going on. Bad things are happening. So can't you think about these things? That some people somewhere are responsible for this insecurity and terrorism. In order to make money, it's all about making money. At the detriment of the citizens of Nigeria. This blood they are wasting is in their hand. They wasted the blood. Go to Benue State. Go to Plateau State. Go to some corners of Katsina State, Borno State. There are many lives on a daily basis. Lives are being wasted. Sometimes people do not capture these problems. Except people that were there when it happened, they capture it with social media platforms. Use their phone. But once you do not capture it with their phone, the mainstream media, the print media, and whatever would not record them. Because either they are admonished not to do so, I don't know. But when the bad things happen, nobody reports them. The one that happened to Benue State, it was VDM that traveled and assessed the whole thing on the spot and put it on the social media before they started visiting those areas. It's just to tell you that they are playing pranks. They are playing pranks. Nobody cares about the security of lives and properties of the people. Nobody cares. It's all about money, 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 money. I do not know whether they are carrying this money to the grave. How could insurgency, terrorism continue in a country that has a standing army, a standing navy?
Inji ta kashi 20 gata sai ta ga 30. Ba daji ba karkara ba. To kaga kau a mu talakawa da sauran mu in mun biye ma gwamnati neman kuɗi take tsakani na ga Allah ba wani abu na neman kuɗi kawai take ba da Allah ake in dai don Allah ake da wannan abu bai faru kuma mu a garin mu na ƙauye babu ruwan mu da siyasa in dai zama na tsakani ga Allah aka ce ai to ai na tsakani ga Allah babu ruwan mu da wannan siyasa ba mu hana ayi ta ba wanda ya shiga ya je yayi siyasa ta abin nan amma ba a cewa yanzu mu a Hilani ba mu da sauran daraja a rugage kamar yadda shi hakimi ya faɗi rugagen da ya ce ya sani sama da shekara 30 tsakanin shi da Allah yanzu cikin sama da 30 nan a je kaddara a samu ruga sama da 40 yanzu zai je kirga ruga 10 wurin to adalci aka yi masa su ba 'yan ƙasa ba ne su ba 'yan ƙasa ba ne.
tó mo kí gbogbo ojú tó ń wò mí lónìí lọ́kùnrin lóbìnrin ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì orúkọ mi ò yí padà Dìlọ ni gbogbo èèyàn mọ̀ mí sí. ẹ wo fídíò tí mo fi hàn yín kí n má dé ìnà pẹ̀nu. ẹ̀wọ̀ arákùnrin tí ó wà lókè yìí ẹ̀wọ̀ arákùnrin tí mo fi hàn yín lókè yìí tó kó ìbọn kọ́ra AK-47 òní ló kó kọ́ra yìí o. ní ilẹ̀ Haúsá lókè ọ̀hún arákùnrin yìí wà. lẹ́nu ọjọ́ bíi 2 sí 3 la gbọ́ wípé àwọn ìjọba Nàìjíríà wọ́n bá ṣe mítìnì ìdákọ́ńkọ́ lórí bó ṣe ń fa rògbòdìyàn ní ìlú nọ́ọ̀tì nílẹ̀ Haúsá lọ́hùn-ún tó ń pa kúkúrú tó ń pa gúngùn tó jẹ́ wípé àwọn ìjọba Nàìjíríà wọn ò rí nǹkan ṣe sí. arákùnrin la gbọ́ wípé wọ́n ti ń wá lẹ́nu bí ọjọ́ bíi mélòó kan sẹ́yìn tí wọ́n ti ń wà, ṣùgbọ́n kàkà kí wọ́n mú bó ṣe ń lépa ẹ̀mí olóyè Sunday Ìgbòho májàsọ́lá owó bàbá dámì, bó ṣe ń lépa Nnamdi Kanu tí wọ́n ní wọ́n ń bàlújẹ́ tí wọ́n náà fẹ́ pín ìlú sí méjì, bẹ́ẹ̀ lárákùnrin yìí tó jẹ́ pé ilẹ̀ haúsá ló fi ìkàlẹ̀ sí, tó sì ń dá rògbòdìyàn sílẹ̀, tó ń pa kúkúrú tó ń pa gúngùn, tó jẹ́ wípé àìmọye ìjàmbá àìmọye ẹ̀mí ló ti tọwọ́ ẹ̀ bọ́ nílẹ̀ haúsá. Kàkà kí àwọn ìjọba Nàìjíríà kí wọ́n mú kán sì fi ojú ẹ̀ wí náà òfin. Ǹjẹ́ wọ́n ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ bí? Kí ni tá a gbọ́ ni wípé lẹ́nu bí ọjọ́ bíi 2 sí 3 la gbọ́ wípé àwọn ìjọba Nàìjíríà wọ́n bá ṣe mítìnì, a gbọ́ wípé wọ́n ń pè ní bandits. Kí ni wọ́n ń pè ní bandits? Wọ́n fún lórúkọ wọn ní bandits ni. Wọ́n wá bá ṣe mítìnì dákọ́ńkọ́ wípé peace resolution, wípé kó má fa wàhálà ní Nàìjíríà mọ́ nílẹ̀ haúsá, kó má pa kúkúrú kó má pa gúngùn. Gbogbo àwọn èèyàn tó ti pa tó ti tọwọ́ ẹ̀ bọ́ wọn rí nǹkan kan ṣe sí o. Mítìn tí wọ́n bá ṣe ni wípé kó dáwọ́ ẹ̀ dúró, kó dáwọ́ ẹ̀ dúró. Arákùnrin wa béèrè oríṣiríṣi àwọn ẹ̀tọ́ lọ́wọ́ ìjọba Nàìjíríà, wípé wọ́n fẹ́ kọ́ oríṣiríṣi skul fáwọn, kan fẹ́ kan ó tún béèrè òbítíbitì owó ló béèrè lọ́wọ́ ìjọba, tó jẹ́ wípé a sì ń pera wa ní wọ́n Nàìjíríà. Kí lárákùnrin ṣe tí Sunday Ìgbòho ṣe? Kí lárákùnrin ṣe tí Nnamdi Kanu tó sọ pé ó ṣe, tó jẹ́ pé lẹ́nu bí ọdún bíi 2-3 ní Nnamdi Kanu ti wà lọ́wọ́ ìjọba Nàìjíríà tí wọ́n fi sílẹ̀? Wọ́n ṣe ń lépa ẹ̀mí olóyè Sunday Ìgbòho. Èèyàn 2 ni wọ́n pa sílé ẹ̀, wọ́n sunlé ẹ̀, wọ́n wá ba ló ní ọ̀gànjọ́ òru. Kò sí nǹkan tí wọ́n ṣe fún olóyè Sunday Ìgbòho tán lórí wípé wọ́n ń fẹ́ Yorùbá nation, lórí wípé Nnamdi Kanu ó ń fẹ́ Biafra. Kí lárákùnrin ṣe? ọmọ haúsá yìí wọ́n ti bá a sọ̀rọ̀, ó ti sì sọ ohun tó fẹ́ fún ìjọba Nàìjíríà. Ìjọba Nàìjíríà sì ṣetán láti ṣe gbogbo ohun tó fẹ́, wọ́n ṣetán láti ṣe é fún. A sì pera wa ní wọ́n Nàìjíríà. Kí lẹ fẹ́ sọ Nàìjíríà dà? Kí ni tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ sọ Nàìjíríà dà, ẹ̀yin ìjọba Nàìjíríà? Èyí ò mà dá o. Ẹ wá ń ṣe sí o, ẹ wá nǹkan ṣe sí. Ẹ fi Nnamdi Kanu ẹ fi sílẹ̀, ẹ bá negotiate olóyè Sunday Ìgbòho, ẹ pè é bá wọn negotiate. Kò orí òjò rí lọ o, orí òjò rí lọ. Kí ló dé tẹ́yin ìjọba Nàìjíríà tẹ́ máa ń fún àwọn ilẹ̀ haúsá ní priority, tó jẹ́ pé àwọn ilẹ̀ Ìgbò àwọn ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹ̀ fún wọn ní priority yìí? Kí ló dé tó fi jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀? A sì pera wa ní Nàìjíríà, a pera wa ní wọ́n Nàìjíríà. Èyí ò dáa, èyí kù díẹ̀ káàtó, èyí kù díẹ̀ káàtó. Olóyè Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu, ẹ̀yin ni president Nàìjíríà. Kí wá ló dé tó jẹ́ wípé olóyè Sunday Ìgbòho báńkì àkáǹtì ẹ freeze ẹ, Nnamdi Kanu ẹ fi sínú ọgbà ẹ̀wọ̀n bí ọdún bíi 2 sí 3 báyìí, wọn rí nǹkan kan ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ pé kẹ́ bá negotiate lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Ó sì jẹ́ wípé àwọn ilẹ̀ haúsá lè máa ń fún priority, tó jẹ́ pé ẹ lè fún ọmọ Yorùbá, ẹ lè fún ọmọ Ìgbò. Kí ni haúsá ṣe fi ṣorí táwa fi ṣorí? Ó mà ṣe o, ó mà ṣe o. Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá, ẹ̀rònú o, ẹ̀rònú. Lórí ètò lónìí àrírí jù báyìí lọ. N tó ń lọ ni mo ní kí n mú wá fún yín, wípé n tó ń lọ ní Nàìjíríà kò bójúmu. Ẹ wá ń ṣe sí o, olóyè Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu, kó tó di wípé.
Some Hausa, some Igbo, some Yoruba will be say them do well. They are the people who are here seeing the truth now of what is going on, what we've been facing and what we are still facing. You know, this issue of Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB and banditry in this country, it's getting out of hand, especially the part of Nnamdi Kanu. You know, many people have come out to say that, okay, this man has not done or did not do anything bad, even though they want to hold him for there or want to leave him, make sure say it's either they sentence him to jail or they leave him pata na wetin many people dey talk. Because if you carefully understand wetin the first army man wey be say, okay, if we talk concerning wetin we dey face, you go understand am say wetin dey try let us know be say the IPOB and normal terrorists are the same. He sees that if they can punish terrorists, they will punish the IPOB members. But you get wetin we see recently, where they give a peace deal to these guys in the north, where some IPOB members are still suffering. Someone like Nnamdi Kanu, it's only him I'm here for. Someone like him who has not done anything bad is still there suffering. Although I want make every one of you that have heard this look into this and drop your own thoughts on this. Thank you.